Hello everyone. Yeah, I get a lot of comments, messages, more or less on my Instagram. You guys really don't reach out to me too much on here. But a lot about Kez5 and RE also, RD357, my friend Mike. Kez5, I can only say I wrote graffiti with him twice. We did a lot of graffiti those two times, but yes, twice I went with him. D3 hung out with him and wrote graffiti with him a lot more, also with Get and High Five. There was times when D3 was actually my roommate out in Staten Island. And I'd come home when I was writing with this guy who wrote Just, around 99, 2000 or something like that. I'd actually come home and my roommate, D3, would be writing with Get, High Five, Kez. There'd be times I'd actually come home out in Staten Island, and Kez5 would be sleeping there in my floor, and Get and High Five. You know, it's real late in this Staten Island, you got a boat to take and all types of shit, and there's stuff running, so, you know. Anyway, make a long story short, I'd actually come in my apartment after crossing out Scuff YKK, like, the whole night. And then here I am with, you know, YKK in my house. And I never discussed it with them. They never discussed it with me. But one thing I could say about Kez5, he lived a life, man. I'll tell you. He was a graffiti writer. I mean, at the end, before he had passed away, I wasn't speaking to him. We kind of had a falling out. A lot of people are like, yo, Rob, you know, you should get in touch with him. He's trying to reach out to you, and that's a cross I bear to my grave. But when all's said and done, he was a true graffiti writer, like the shit that I've been talking about, like the videos before. You know, he lived the life. You see, that's what's different. It's about integrity, and that man had more integrity than I could see in any writer that's come out in such a long time. He rocked like he was from the 80s, the way he got down. That's all I could say. I mean, towards the end, we weren't speaking to each other. A lot of people reached out to me, including Martinez Gallery. He told me Kez5 is on his deathbed, that he's not going to be alive for long, and he wants to speak to you, Robert. And I remember, and this is through Instagram, I remember my exact comment back to him is, I am not a priest or a doctor. I cannot do anything for him. But, I mean, you know, that's that street shit, you know, pride and everything. But Kez5, I stole a lot of things with him. An Olmo once, an expensive bicycle. I grabbed him a regular old shitterbox, we would call him. You know, I clipped the bike for him. Here you go. He said, come on, man, go ride that shit, bro. You know, he was real fancy. I think it's a Bushwick thing, real bright colored clothes and everything. He used to break on me, man. He actually would bring me over $300 and something tubes of fucking oil paint and shit, as he sees the crap I work with here, you know. And my socks. He used to make fun of my socks, man. He's like, yo, come on, man. Motherfucking man gotta have a real pair of socks. I get these like 99-cent store socks, and I wear them fucking things to the ground. They got holes in them and shit. And he used to get a kick out of that. He used to say I was the poster child for bootleg. Like I'd have boo-boo and shit. I've known Kez5 for a very long time. Well, probably since, like I said, 96, 97, I'd come home out in Staten Island, he'd be there. But as far as it goes with writing graffiti, I've only went writing with him twice. And he kind of seems to not give a fuck. He is how I was early on in my teenage years. You know, it's like if you got a lookout, and actually a very experienced lookout like me, and I say chill, 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 you would expect the person to chill, but he didn't care. He honestly, like, he just lived the life. And, I mean, at one point I felt like when I'm writing with him, it's almost like he's competing with me for spots, I'm competing with him for spots. But when I'm writing, he's thinking of spots to write on instead of looking out. And it just, that's the only reason we went twice. Once when we stole the very fancy bicycle, he kept the guy busy in the front. I knew the back doors open on a hot summer's day, so I went through a couple of yards, hopped over a few fences while he was fucking around in the store. He was actually stealing shit and got away with it too. You know, I went into the back where they fixed the bikes and shit. I grabbed this fucking Olmo. OLMO. It's like $4,000 or $5,000 book, book value bike. I took that, and he was riding around action. I never saw him. Just got it, I just gave it to him. I mean, that's how he was with me, man. A very, very nice person. Like, very, very kind to those that he held close to him. And I'll tell you also, in Rikers Island, man, not with me, but a few people I know, man, when shit was popping off over there. Let me tell you something, man. Rikers Island ain't easy on a white boy, man. But, yo, he kind of, did his thing and, like, helped out a few people I know, you know what I mean? He also kept, like, Latin King shit, over there and shit from a few people that had it bad, But, I mean, just on the East Coast in general, the prison system sucks for a white man. I mean, if the white person living comfortable, he's putting in that work. But anyway, that's a subject I can't speak on. Never been there. So, Rikers, I was there for 30 days once. I caught boofing. It was actually a fireman's car. I took his fire helmet, the whole shit. It was me, D3, and this dude who wrote Led Zepp. And I went to Rikers for 30 days. Next court day down. I mean, no problems at all. But anyway, Kez5 seems to almost very similar to my story I was saying about Stay High. It's like people were very disrespectful and just his way of life. But, you can't take from that man when it comes to graffiti, man. You really cannot take away from him. Like, I probably would have approached it differently, but he definitely had my kind of a mindset. But he was thinking more with fill-ins and shit like that. And towards the end, man, I've sat right in the same room I'm in right now, and we've had a conversation, and he had the same feelings I've had towards today's graffiti. And that's why he was like, yo, fuck these dudes, man. And he started going off on people. Send for instance, Pear. He was like, and he's one of them people, like I said, like me, where, don't give a fuck. You write the shit, you keep it moving. Someone crosses it out, so, it's not that big a fucking deal. Like, he understood. It's kind of like I said before with integrity. And it's almost like that book, Iron John, by Robert Bly. It's like, you never let them see you suffering. You never lick your wounds in battle. It's drag your guts behind you, but have your chest down, head up, chin forward. Never let them see you fucking suffer. And that's an important part of graph. Now that's just gone. Like, there's no integrity. People are like whimpering, and like, that's what I would say about graffiti. But then again, you go back to just gangs in general. I mean, you take it back to the fucking cowboys, and then you go into the mafia, or the Bowery Boys, or the Dead Rabbits, or whatever fucking thing. It's like violent, but then you get up to today, it's like these dudes pulling off millions of dollars on computers, and I guess there's no need for the violence. But I mean, don't knock it. I mean, if that was an important part to me, that was graffiti. And Kez5, he's got a reputation. He fought a lot. He lost some. He won some. Whatever. But he was in it like that. He was honestly one of them dudes that I could say from the bottom of my heart, it's a fucking honor to have wrote with him and to have known him. You sit back and you think about it, and you can say, oh yeah, but he was this, he was that. We're not talking about that. We're talking about graffiti. And I'll tell you, he runs circles around any one of you motherfuckers. I'd like it if he was around during my era. Like maybe bump him another 8 years back. I'll tell you, when I was wild like that, it would have been interesting. Because you see, that's like my mindset. If I start seeing someone come up a little in Manhattan, I test them. You got to be battle tested. And I'll just like, man, go right over that shit, be RD. And then they go over me, and I'll be bum, 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 bum. It would just, boom, war. And these people, probably wouldn't get it or nothing, but, I feel like you're taking a little bit too much of my shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm claiming my own shit in my mind, then I see something else coming around here. I'm like, oh, wait a minute, what is this, some kind of competition? That was my mindset. But a lot of people did that to me, too. Just went over me just to get the fame. Like, I could sit here naming people, fucking probably till the sun comes up. And it's like 8 o'clock at night right now, Kez5 really had the same exact issue I could see as with Stay High 149, like I was mentioning in the Hall of Fame. It's like all these people, yo, this, that, and real mean and nasty to him when he's alive. But yo, once he's dead, all of a sudden everyone, oh, 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 and it's like just Stay High, perfect example. The same people I mentioned, fucking around with the poor guy when he's just trying to make a buck and times are hard. Those same people that kind of fucked with him turn around after his death and be like, oh, poor Stay High. Yo, I did this. This is a tribute to my man Stay High. Want to buy it? It's for sale. You know, it's like, come on, man. Yo, like Graffiti with me, like I don't give a fuck about anything else, my job or anything. I do what I'm told. I yes ma'am, thank you sir. I open doors, I close doors. But with Graffiti, that's one fucking thing that is non-negotiable in my fucking brain, man. It's like I said, man, I'll have a smile on my face, my chest will be forward, chin up, and I will be dragging my fucking guts behind me, man. That's just like what it was to me. It's really close to my heart. And Kez5, Graffiti, was really close to his fucking heart, man. And Stay High 149, Graffiti, was really close to his fucking heart. I mean, I could name a lot of people that actually live by the code of it, and Kez5 is one of them. He was one of them. He definitely, like, devoted a lot to it. He really, really put in a lot of fucking work, man. Kez5, yeah. I mean, I might have done it differently, but I could relate and respect everything that man's ever done. And like I've said, I've actually had war with people that were his friends and in his crew, and I'd come home and we wouldn't even talk about it. I'd go in the fridge, I'd grab a little sip of water or something, I'd go in my room and I'd go to sleep. I'd wake up maybe 10 hours later or something, and you know, everyone's gone. I'd walk my dog and shit, you know, and that was a very respectful guy. And like I said, he stood up for a few people that I know that were locked up in Rikers Island when he really didn't have to. And I'm not saying, you know, Kez5 was a tough ass, but he ain't take no shit, man. He really didn't, man. You know, he really didn't take no shit, man. You know, he really... And he was pretty well known in the prison system. Like, there's a whole other world outside this world, man. You know, well, you little guys feel safe on your little computers and shit. Try that shit at Rikers fucking Island, all that shit you be popping. Upstate with my poor brothers up in Clinton and shit like that, man. You know, it's a whole different world, man. And, you know, he kind of had respect in that world. I know firsthand just from people that came out and like the... Not even writers and shit. That just, oh, you're Kez5. You ever hear of RD? And yo, he was like, yo, come here, man. I got you. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have to do that shit. He really didn't. You know, he didn't have to do that. And yo, there's a lot of things I could say about Kez5. I could go on and on and on. Some of my bombing missions with him. We stole this Olmo bicycle I'm talking about. I already had mine. I ride a fixed gear, you know. So we rode up Harlem. Up First Avenue, broad daylight, 11 o'clock in the morning, 10 o'clock in the morning, just straight up, boom, 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 First Avenue, hopped off the bikes whenever, caught tank. But like I said, I'd be like, chill, 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 and, you know, you'd be like, yeah, fuck. And then if the person's like, hey, you stop that, and like, what you gonna, you know, and I'm like, oh, this is bad, you know. All of a sudden, something that's a fucking misdemeanor could turn into a fucking felony, you know what I mean? Like, is he gonna rip the dude? Like, is he gonna, what? You know, that's the shit that's going through my mind. I've hung out with, I don't know, I get along with weird, crazy people. I feel comfortable around them, and, yo, I tell you, man, it was interesting, man. It was definitely interesting times writing Graffiti with him. We went up, anyway, up to Harlem, over the bridge, the Triborough Bridge, rode on the floor of the bridge. It's probably actually still there. Rode all over the fucking bridge, actually. Rode on a couple of cop cars. Got into Astoria, and then rode from Astoria over the Triborough Bridge down Van Duzer, I think, is in Staten Island, some other crazy street, all the way down to another bridge that went into Brooklyn. And then from there, we went from Brooklyn into Manhattan, just like dumping out paint, you know, I ain't lying. We dumped out like maybe 9 cans. And that's just on tags and shit, you know. I wasn't a person who was into fill-ins and stuff. That's a lot of fucking paint, you know. So yeah, that was a good mission. And the other mission was with me, him, and R.E. that passed away also. We went running around crossing out coke too. I had no problems with Coke too, but I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? Fuck him. What the fuck do I give a shit? The guy's a rat, man. You people can know where's the proof. You don't have proof on shit like that, you know? You ask him. It's the burden of proof is on him. Coke too. You want to talk about a rat? Have him show you his papers. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, yes, he's openly ratted me out. I don't know what people call dry snitch or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, I gave him my address where I lived. 728 Coster Street up at Hunts Point area of the Bronx. This was years ago, I don't live there no more. And instead of him actually coming and meeting me and ringing my fucking doorbell, putting up his dukes and fighting me, he posted on this SASTR, Streets Are Saying Things website like 1,000 times a fucking day. That's all he did. He never came by my house. I don't give a fuck about the SASTR thing. Anyone come by my house? You gotta realize, it's Hunts Point. I got a lot of people right across the street and shit. You know, it ain't that easy to roll up on a motherfucker in the South Bronx like that. I've lived in the Bronx on and off my whole life, you know. Manhattan and the Bronx, pretty much my mainstay. I've lived in Staten Island for 8 years. I lived out around Fort Greene. I was living with this stripper. She used to strip in that little place off of Canal Street, Walker Street, black chick. And I left there, dudes were swinging outside of Brother. They would call me Richie Cunningham and shit in the project. So I kind of felt like, you know, this shit ain't gonna go right. I just never went back. I left all my clothes there and everything. I mean, it wasn't like it was much clothes or anything, but yeah, I lived in Brooklyn for a little while at that place there and some projects. Queens, I've lived in multiple locations many times. 2110 23rd Street. I actually sold that. I owned the house. It was like a two-family house I sold. I lived in some old Italian lady's basement for a while over there. She had a grape yard in the back with these grapevines and shit. That's when I used to hang out with this guy, Eddie Sear. Sear, yeah, Sear 357. Good guy, man. Big dude, tall dude. I could tell you some funny stories about with him, man. He gave me his book once. It was me, Coast TDS, Joey TDS, Sear. I don't know, maybe I had a girlfriend with me or something, I don't remember, but we were all in this like SUV thing, right? So they're going out to some graffiti party or something. And we bump into this guy, Futura. You know, so Sierra's like taller than me, man, big dude, you know? She was like, you know, oh yeah, that's Futura over there, you know? So they like, you want me to get him to write your book? He's there. I was like, all right, give me a book. So I go over to Futura, right? You know, Futura 2000, right? Yeah, he's like bald at this point. He's got like one little strand of hair. He's like, so I'm like, yo, my man, can you catch a tag? Write some nice Futura 2000 tag, right? So he's like, yeah, you know, so what do you write? I say, RD357, you know. He's like, pulls out a lighter, right? It's kind of cold out too. And he starts setting the page that he just wrote in Sear 357's black book. Starts burning the fucking page. He's like, you know, that wasn't cool with Zephyr and Dondi and all types of crazy shit. He starts talking, you know. So I'm like, yeah, but what's that got to do with my man's black book? Did you just say in your black book? I said, nah, it's his. So I point, yo, Sear comes over. Yo, Futura's like a fucking bodega character, man. He's like, he looks like a fucking lizard, this guy, right? So Sear comes over, right? I'm like, yo, Sear, he's burning your book. Yeah, so all of a sudden the guy's like trying to make the fire, like he's putting it out, and it's like the page is burnt, the Futura tag is gone and everything, right? But yeah, this dude saw fucking fear, man, I swear. He was like crumpling up into ashes when he was looking up at Sear. Because like I said, it was winter, so he had a fucking puffy coat on, you know, like, with, you know, like a down, like a goose down. Fucking dude, look, he was 8 feet tall. He really is almost 7 fucking feet, this guy. But anyway, make a long story short, it was like Futura actually, you could, like, Sear didn't say a fucking word. Like, he was more probably mad at me for handing the guy the book. He didn't give a fucking Futura wrote in his fucking book and that. Anyway, you know, so Futura's looking at Sear. He's like, actually, he's smearing the pages of the black book. Like, he's hoping in his mind that this page will grow back to normal. Like, he's trying to fix the fucking page, and he's not even speaking. He's got, like, saliva coming out. And Sear just, like, takes his book and go, dude, whatever, you know? Yeah, Sear's a good guy, man. That shit was funny, yo. Joey TDS, me, and Coast TDS was there. They're out there. You could ask them guys. They remember that shit, man. It was some place we went out in Brooklyn somewhere. Some big party they were having, some graffiti thing. Yeah, that Futura guy, boy. He was burning my book. I mean, I don't even know why he was burning my poor book. I don't really know. Anyway, that was a good one, man. But yeah, getting back to Kez5, man. He was a good guy, man. He was funny as fuck, man. He used to run me down, man. He would break on me with my little fucking socks with the holes in them. And yeah, he was like, dude, man, you're like a fucking bum, bro. You know, he used to dress all fancy. He steal everything, man. That fucking dude. He was such a fucking generous person, man. Like I've said, he's come over here. He's given my son like oil paint sets that's worth $700-800, man. He's given me just tubes of oil paint. It's worth $350. We actually looked it up. I'm like, I can't take this, man. Yo, why don't you sell that shit? Make some money for yourself, man. Like, he's like, yo, Rob, man, what the fuck? When someone gives you something, you fucking say thank you and you take it. You don't give it back to them, man. He's like, yo, how were you raised? Like, he was one of them dudes that would talk to me like that. And I'd be like, and I mean, that's kind of like, I guess, why we have an argument. It's like pride, you know. I'm like, yo, come on, man, thanks, man. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings and shit, you know. But nah, man, you know, Kez5 was one of them dudes, and if he loved you, he'd go to bat for you, man. At least in my life, I can't count for him with other people or whatever. I mean, you know, maybe he pegged people as herbs or something, and you know, or maybe things didn't fall out. He also hung out a lot with and got along very well with my friend PK, Note 357. Him and PK probably did a lot more graffiti together than me and Kez5 did. Yeah, PK Note, I know PK was really heartbroken when he found out that Kez5 had passed away. Because him and PK, they kind of hung out like crazy for a hot minute, you know? Like right around maybe a couple of years before his death and up to his death. PK Note was, yeah, they hung out. They were like frickin' frack, thick and thin. Peanut butter and jelly, you know, the whole nine, yeah. And he would probably have more things. Maybe one day I'll get PK on here and he could discuss more situations with Kez5 and times he hung out with him. D3 also, Sammy D3 hung out with him a lot. That's back in the 90s. He hung out with him a lot. And they wrote a lot. I think they even got to put through the system together. Yeah. There's a few different situations with him, you know, like I believe they winded up on the island together or something like that, you know. And like I said, he really looked out for a few people I know, man, in prisons and shit. He actually gave one dude, you know, some shit, you know, to get him by, a little coffee and shit, you know what I'm saying? Things like that, that goes a long way, man, you know. And it doesn't go unseen or unforgotten. Yo, just put it this way. With all that bickering and backering, man, he knew how to carry himself, man. He definitely did. And he also knew how to test people and push their buttons. But yeah, man, I can never really say nothing bad about the man. It was really a stand-up cat, man. It really was. You know, he went by the rules, lived by the sword, died by the sword, the whole 9 yards, man. I can't say anything bad about him. And once again, the same thing. A lot of people, you know, towards his end, I see things. I'm not going to blow up names because it's not my business. Like I said, I really wasn't that into it with this cat and graffiti. I only wrote with him twice. But, you know, a lot of people were hitting him below the belt and running these crazy videos and shit like that. And, you know, it's like a lot of other people, too. They were running him down when he was alive. And once he passes away, oh, yo, that was my man, yo. Come on, you know, oh, my man, yo. But, you know, that they ain't show that, you know. I guess I'm actually guilty of that my damn self. I mean, I would never speak bad publicly, but, you know, towards the end, I wasn't on speaking terms with them either. But, like, these people were blasting them and liking videos and just stupid shit. And then when the guy actually is no longer here, it's like they try to act like that never happened. Very similar to the same thing with Stay High, 149, like I said. And all of a sudden, you know, oh no, not Stay High. Oh my God, oh no. You want to buy his painting? I drew this for him. It's like, yo, what the fuck? Are you on drugs, man? Like, yo, tell me, a few people came up to me like that, and I honestly felt like fucking hooking off on them, man. But I was just too disgusted. Like, I really would, like, just, like, it wouldn't even be worth it, man. Like, it's just, life is funny, man. Life is fucking funny. Not even just in the graffiti element of it, just in general, man. People are weird, man. You got some crazy fucking shit out there, man. You really do. And, I mean, you got money-hungry fucking people that are just, they see it, they go for it, you know. And I guess, you know, that's what makes the world turn around. I personally, anyone that knows me, I make money, I got a job, I have a few relatives that passed away, I collected some money and stuff, but I still, you know, I don't have a car or nothing. I ride around on a fucking bicycle that I've been riding around on for 30-something fucking years, you know. And I, like Kez5, you know, was saying about my socks and shit, my sneakers, you know. Like, I don't know, I was never, like, fancy on materialistic things. Or even, like, eating out, whining and dining. I mean, I'll go out on a date if a girl was like, yo, this, that, yeah, sure, I'll go, you know. But it's just, I don't know, that wasn't appealing to me. Like, I don't believe any of that makes the man. It's so, and that's what's lacking in this world. Yeah, you might have all that fancy shit, but yo, dude, you're shallow inside, man. So many people, it's like they have no fucking integrity, man. I just seen some weird shit go on just in the winter during the pandemic and shit. People fucking with me, oh, because you hang out with this guy, you're gonna get caught in the crossfire. I'm like, yo, dude, you're gonna get caught in the crossfire, man. Fuck that crossfire shit, man. It's like, fuck, are you threatening me? Like, come out. What's all this around the bush shit? You threaten me, motherfucker. You know, and then I block them. They get in touch with me on a different fucking thing. So, yo, I'm not being, I'm bullied. I'm like, yo, I block them again. Like, I'm like, you know. You're being a bully to me? Yo, dude, you're getting this shit twisted, yo. And like, I don't really follow all that shit with wins and losses, man. I just go for mines, man. Anyone step up in my fucking space, man. I don't give a fuck if you're a midget on Quaaludes, man. I'm gonna do you the fuck in before I get done in. And my mindset, like I was explaining earlier, in other videos, like with Terran, and he's talking about passing out paperwork on Duro. I'm talking about stabbing fucking Duro up. So where my mindset might be, when you come in at me with some stupid little shit like that, I see you, I'm just like, oh, I'm running right the fuck up on you before you even see me, man. And even if you do see me, that shit still register in your mind while you're bleeding all over the fucking place. So it's just wise, like, don't do that on the computer, people. Like, it's just really not, like, then I get fucked up. I got a kid. I got, you know what I mean? It's like I got to go through the system, but it's like it's something that I can't help. Like I've been dealing with. That's me. You know what I mean? Like I could put on different faces at work. I could be one way. You know, hanging out with friends. I could be another way. Hanging out with people I consider family. I'll have a whole different way. You know, it's just at that area. You're going to come to me crooked, or they even say, yo, you better watch yourself. You're pretty much just telling me straight out that you're coming for me. So, anyway, it's, in my mind, it's on. So, like, I don't care. It just seems like every time I meet someone that is doing that, like, whoa, chill, Rob, chill. No, I didn't mean that. I don't know, what? You mean watch you? All of a sudden they talking, no, you better watch out when you're crossing the street. You don't want to get like, I'm like, come on, man, you fucking talking about threatening me. And then you're going to, like, so it's kind of like I'm actually glad I'm not involved with the graffiti world. And I mean, I wasn't even involved with the graffiti world with this shit. I'm like, you know where I live, come get me, you know. No, this, that. And they always talk this shit. I mean, they put my fucking work in the newspaper, my address, where I live. You want to come fucking get me, come fucking get me. Don't sit there playing all this shit. I start to think these people are jerking off to me or something, like, I don't know. But anyway, getting back to it with Kez5, great guy. Like I said, kind of had a falling out. We actually did have a falling out towards the end. I wasn't on speaking terms with him. A lot of people shouted out to me, yo, Rob, man, you know, he's asking us to talk to you, or this, that, including the main one I remember I actually responded back to was the Martinez Gallery guy. And he said, you know, that Kez5 is not doing well, that he's probably not going to make it, he's dying. And, you know, I sent him back that message. I'm not a priest or a doctor or nothing. I can't help the guy, you know. I wish him the best, but, you know, that's that, you know. But I mean, you know, when I erase someone from my mind, I erase them from my mind. And like, you know, in that lifestyle, man, can't be giving people second chances, man. I just, you know, that's just the truth, man. It's like when I say, yo, peace, I've already done the math in my mind. And I've come to the conclusion that I wish not to know you anymore. Like, that's like how I am. Anyone that knows me, a lot of people out there that do know me, comment. Let them know. Am I lying? I'm like, yo, if I'm done with someone, I'm done with them, man. You could fucking be getting murdered in front of me, and I'll just keep walking, you know. Straight up, I'm weird like that. It's just, I've become conditioned. I see a lot of crazy shit in this world, man. I've been through a lot of shit, and you know, you can't give, because then when you're like all fucked up, and you're like on your last breath, and you're like, I should have stuck with my gut. And that ain't me, man. I'm not going to sit there saying I should have. You know what I mean? Like, here's another good one. I see a lot of these people go, you know, I can tell, we're going to break this down. This is going to get long, but a lot of people saying, oh, yo, I'll never hit a woman and this and that. And I'll tell you, there was some kind of comment or something going around. This fucking idiot, I don't know, he was starting some shit. I don't even know the fucking guy. I never met him. And I don't know, it was some shit about PK or something or another. And then he started, I don't know, he just started picking on a lot of these guys from 357 on the internet and shit. Not me. Anyway, you know, oh, you womanizer, you hit women, this and that. I'm going to be quite truthful with you, man. I've hit a woman, man. I've hit 2 fucking women in my life. And one of them, I'll tell you right now, I was on 116th Street, 3 or 4 in the fucking morning, okay? I was getting high, and this girl gave me money to get her stuff to get high with, right? So instead of giving her back her money, I did the drugs, right? So it seemed to me, when you're high, smoking cocaine, crack, whatever, you feel as if more time had passed than it actually passed. So, yeah, I'm over there, you know, smoked her shit. I figured it'd been a couple of hours. She's not still waiting for me in the subway station. Bigger shit, I come down to the subway station, you know. As I come in contact with her, and I'm standing there, and she's right here to the side of me, actually right about where this is. I don't know if you're in view. You know, I'm like, oh, man, I got beat. You know, they robbed me. Oh, this, that. No, this chick grabbed me by the shoulder, like this, started to push me. And the fucking train was maybe like in a street sense, about 3 parking spaces away from me. This chick was pushing me in front of a fucking train. And I wasn't in no stance or nothing because I'm lying to her. I'm telling her, yo, I got beat. I'm trying to act sad and shit. And yo, if I didn't punch that bitch in the fucking face, I would have been dead, yo. And this is back when I was like 18, 19 years old. There'd be no RD. So yes, I punched that bitch in the fucking face. She was on the floor. She was I got on the fucking train and took the fuck off. Yes, I did the girl wrong. Yes, that was bad of me. But I ain't about to go out like that. That's one time. Another time, my man Mike McCann, he had this big fucking white pickup truck. Again, Harlem, again, drugs. Anyway, 109th Street, 110th Street, the Red Door, we called it. You go up the stairs, at the top of the staircase, red door. So I'm buying crack, maybe $100 worth, right? So I turn around, this lady got curlers in her hair. It's all tight like this, tied, right? She's maybe 4 or 5 feet tall, maybe 100 pounds at the most. She pulls out a plastic fucking butter knife that you would get from a deli to cut a bagel in half. A plastic white butter knife. Not a spork, or whatever the fuck it is, no. A regular plastic fucking butter knife. They pull it out, give me all your shit. I started laughing, yo, I was dying. Yo, she went, and till this fucking day, yo, I swear to fucking God, I was a teenager. Look at that shit. That shit go down my whole fucking arm, yo, with a little fucking white butter knife. I was like, bitch, boom! And she went boom, 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 down the stairs. I just walked over her. I was like, yo, Mike. At this point, she was yelling, screaming in the hallway. Everyone's looking at a white boy. You know, all these homeboys start coming. I go, no. So I run, yo, Mike, start the truck. I jump in the back. They're throwing shit at the truck and shit. You know, it was like a big pickup truck. We used to call it the white trash, you know. But yeah, I jump in the back. Take off, go back downtown. Yeah, 2 times. Other than that, no other time. Now, I can tell you another funny story about buying marijuana. The sense of media, they used to call it back then. Again, the same neighborhood. You go up a flight of stairs, same type of situation. You go up a flight of stairs, the door's right there, you slide the money through the peek hole. The thing lifts up, you put your money in it. They give you a bag of weed, you know. Again, I'm getting for everyone in John Jay Park. So I'm buying like maybe $70, $80, 7, 8 dimes of this good weed. Now, turn around, this fucking dude's got a pocket knife out. And you go, give me all your shit. No, big dude, right? So I was a bike messenger at the time. I had my bike bag like this, right? My bike was locked up outside in front of the building. So on my strap to my messenger bag, I had a ballpoint pen. I go like this. I take the cap off the ballpoint pen. Do. You know, this fucking dude just fell down the stairs like this. You know, he lived and all, but, you know, later on people I know bumped into him because they know him and they were a little upset that I did that to the guy. But I was always fucking with him dudes uptown, man. Fucking up in Harlem, they know me, yo. Shit. But anyway, make a long story short, man, you know, that blood was in that hole, like with a Bic ballpoint pen, you know, a little blue cap on it. You know, I'm a messenger. This is before beepers and shit. You write it down, you know, the people signed it, they got their package and shit, so you need a pen. I had it right here. Crazy shit, man. You know, people, I never went back up to the reefer spot. From then on, we were sending Slater up, a black dude, yeah. Slater would go. Well, he was from there. He knew everyone. Danny Smith. Everyone else would go. I'd just sit in the park because I ain't trying to lose their money, man. Like I said, these guys are not like the guys you have today, man. A lot of people know what I'm talking about when I talk about these parks and shit. Fuck around like that, you can get really fucked up, man. You wind up paralyzed or fucked up, man. You know, you can't be fucking with those people with their money like that, man. Believe that shit, man. I'd rather catch it up in Harlem. You know, I mean, like I said, man, you can't show weakness, man. You don't lick your wounds in battle. You just can't. I mean, see me, I'm not a thick dude. I mean, I'm fit and all that, but, you know, it's the code, man. It's